What's up, everyone? Welcome to Comic Chronicles. Superman is the greatest superhero in comics, the ultimate symbol of hope, our beloved Big Blue. But as Uncle Ben would say, with great power comes great responsibility. And since Superman is the greatest of them all, you can bet his challenges are just as huge. Besides constantly saving humanity and all that good stuff, the Man of Steel has an incredible lineup of villains, many of whom rank among the most dangerous and powerful in DC. Today, we're counting down the top 10 greatest enemies of Superman. Do you think you know them all? Let's see if you've got what it takes and if your list matches mine. Stick around in the video, and don't forget to hit that super like, subscribe, and ring that bell. 2025 is the year of Superman, and I'm already prepping more videos about him and everything coming in the new DCU, so if you don't want to miss out, you gotta be subscribed. Thanks so much, and let's dive into another top 10 here on the channel. Coming in at number 10, Ultraman. He's an evil version of Superman, and the character has had various different versions in comics, including one from Earth 3, which is the home of the crime syndicate. He truly embodies an opposite take on the Superman we all know. He's a tyrannical maniac who, unlike Superman, grows stronger when exposed to kryptonite, while the yellow sun is his weakness. This character has also made appearances in other media, known for the animated film Justice League, Crisis on Two Earths. He also showed up in the recent Crisis on Infinite Earths animation, and he's been featured in several games, including LEGO DC Supervillains. In 9th place, Bizarro. If anyone can match Superman in strength, it's Bizarro. He's had various origins, but the most well-known is that he was created as a clone of Superman and didn't turn out right. His powers are the opposite of Superman's, such as, while Superman has heat vision and super breath, Bizarro has flame breath and Arctic vision. Another quirky detail is how he communicates by saying the opposite of what he means. Bizarro has appeared countless times in comics and other adaptations, like animations and even live action. 8th place, Parasite. Parasite is an enemy of Superman who feeds on energy by eagerly absorbing it through his body, draining all living creatures with a touch. Because of the vast danger he poses to anyone he comes into contact with, he spends most of his time locked up in Stryker's Island Penitentiary. He's been a member of the Suicide Squad, Superman Revenge Squad, and the Secret Society of Supervillains. The character has shown up in several adaptations, such as Superman, the animated series, Justice League, and recently in the first season of My Adventures with Superman, where he ended up becoming a massive kaiju at the season's end. 7th place, Metallo. John Corbin is a cyborg powered by a kryptonite heart that's lodged in his chest. Metallo has super strength and superhuman durability, plus he emits kryptonite radiation, which makes him a real threat to Superman. That deadly radiation can kill the Man of Steel with just one exposure, even though his cyber enhancements make him physically powerful. His abilities include the capacity to shape machinery into whatever he desires, meaning he can create any weapon he wants using the metal in his body. With something like kryptonite fueling him, he's indeed a major challenge for Superman, don't you think? 6th place, Mongul. Mongul was the leader of his alien race, but after a revolution, he was exiled into space. In his first appearance, he kidnapped Superman's friends and threatened to kill them unless the Man of Steel brought him the key to activate the artificial planet Warworld. In 1985, his origin was rewritten to show that he was the leader of Warworld, where he entertained the public with gladiator fights. He captured Superman to force him into one of those battles, but with the help of Draga, Superman managed to kick Mongul off the planet. 5th place, General Zod. He's the top military leader of Krypton. After committing crimes against fellow Kryptonians, Zod was sentenced and banished to the Phantom Zone even before Krypton's destruction. Years later, long after Krypton was gone, Zod escapes from the Phantom Zone seeking revenge against the descendant of the one who imprisoned him. Just like all Kryptonians, when exposed to yellow sunlight, he gains superpowers similar to Superman's and Supergirl's. Zod ended up being the main villain in the film Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder and starring Henry Cavill. 4th place, Brainiac. He's one of the smartest beings in the universe and is always challenging Superman. Brainiac is certainly one of Superman's greatest foes, and honestly, he goes beyond that. Brainiac is easily one of the biggest enemies of DC as a whole. He's appeared in numerous adaptations. He was a major villain in Justice League Unlimited, which had a fantastic episode where Flash defeats him, plus he was the main antagonist in the game Injustice 2, and recently, he was the villain in Season 2 of My Adventures with Superman. Originally, Brainiac was a scientist from a planet called Kalu, but he managed to transfer his mind and create various artificial bodies over the years. His insatiable thirst for absolute knowledge makes him an extremely dangerous entity, so much so that he's bottled civilizations throughout time just to acquire their knowledge and collect them. Without a doubt, he's one of Superman's greatest enemies who can't be left off the list. Third place, Darkseid. This is the name when we're talking about the most feared villain in DC Comics. Darkseid has battled Superman countless times, and recently it's been established in DC's stories that while Superman is the force for good across the multiverse, Darkseid is the opposite. He has been defeated by Superman and the Justice League in the comics, but after the villain put his plans into motion, he kind of died, leaving just his energy behind, which eventually created something new, a brand new universe. This new universe is called the Absolute Universe, which is currently being worked on in DC and has been quite successful with fresh versions of the heroes we all know. But back to Darkseid, he's always on the hunt for the anti-life equation so he can have total control over all living beings and strip away their free will, crafting a universe to match his vision. He rules over a hellish world named Apocalypse, where all his subjects know only one thing: Darkseid is. Second place, Doomsday. A long time ago, Kryptonian scientists designed a creature that would be the ultimate weapon of destruction and devastation. This creature ended up trapped and fell asleep on Earth, and after centuries, it awoke and confronted Superman. The battle between the two was insane. Doomsday was finally stopped by Superman, but the Big Blue lost his life in that fight. Folks, this whole battle is part of the saga The Death of Superman, which is one of the most famous arcs of the Man of Steel, released back in the 90s, around the same time Batman was also falling to his greatest nemesis, Bane. This Doomsday battle is so well known that it's been adapted many times over the years, and recently, we saw the villain appear in Superman and Lois, with that version being the one that stays truest to the comics. It was way better than what we saw in Batman vs. Superman. First place, Lex Luthor. Alright, everyone, we've reached Superman's greatest enemy and one of the biggest foes in all of DC. He's a billionaire and the smartest man on Earth. Don't think the title belongs to Batman or Mr. Terrific. Despite all of this, Lex Luthor has only used his brilliant mind for selfish gain and to fuel his bitter vendetta against those he feels wronged him. He's always in a never-ending personal battle against Superman, the one being that makes Luthor feel insignificant just by being around. Even though he doesn't have superpowers, he's one of the few villains who's been able to put Superman in real danger, and he should never be underestimated. So yeah, folks, putting this list together wasn't easy since Superman has such an extensive lineup of incredible and powerful villains, but now I want to hear from you. Who's your favorite? Which Superman villain do you think should have made the list? Do you have a different top 10? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that sphere and subscribe to our channel. Superman is coming back in a big way to theaters, and I'm bringing you many more videos featuring our beloved Man of Tomorrow, so to stay in the loop, you need to be subscribed with that bell on. Thanks a ton for sticking with us, and if you made it this far in the video, type up and away in the comments so I know you watched until the end. I'm leaving you with 2 great Superman story recommendations to check out, dive in, and get the full scoop on the stories. Thanks again, and see you next time.